Hello everyone and welcome you all to another tutorial on Adobe Photoshop. So in this class we'll be learning about how we can use layers and why it's quite important in all while working in this Photoshop application. We'll learn about how we can duplicate a particular layer or the main layer, and we'll also see about few basic features or how we can use layering, how we can actually view the layering, how we can lock a particular layer. We'll learn about auto contrasting, auto tuning, and auto coloring as well. So let's not waste time and let's get started with the class. So here you guys can see I do have the opening page, or the first page after opening this application is this one. So what I'll be doing is now I'll be selecting a new file, or I'll try to open a file. Okay. So from here in my downloads, I do have few images. So on top of these images, I'll be showing you guys about the layering. So let me take a picture from here and I'll just open this one. Okay. So here you can see I do have the image, and with my alt and my cursor, I'll just make it a little bigger, or I'll just zoom in a bit. The image quality is not that good, but I'll be showing you guys layering here that you'll be able to understand the difference between the layering. Okay. So here, now I also do have the image here. And here on the right hand bottom, you guys can see I do have the layers option here. And also on top, I do have the layer option here as well. So right now, if I want to duplicate, so I'll just simply right click. And here, what I'll be doing is I'll click on duplicate layer. Okay. So from here, once I click on duplicate layer, you guys can see a page just popped up. So here I need to name it. Okay. So I'll be naming as auto tuning file. So I just named it auto tuning file, and I'll be showing you guys why I named that auto tuning, because I'll be showing auto tune in this particular image for you all. So I just named this particular file here, and I'll be clicking on OK. So nothing actually changed here. As you all can see, there is no major changes, but the only changes you guys can see is here on this layer panel, or the layer box here. Okay. Now that time I just only had the background. Now I do have background as well as another file which I named as auto tuning file. So this background one is the original file, and this one is the duplicate file which I have just created. And if I don't want to see this particular file, I can just click here. If I don't want to see this as well, I can click on this one. And again, if I want to view it, see, these both are just same. Okay. And I can also lock both the profiles. I can change the opacity and everything. You do have the option here. You guys can see here. Okay. So now what I'll be doing is I'll come here that in the duplicate file, and I'll come here on the top left corner, where in this top bar here. So what I'll be doing here is I'll just click here on the image option, and under the adjustment option, you guys can see do have the option for auto tune, auto contrast, auto coloring. So I'll be showing you guys all these three options here. But first I'll be choosing you the auto tone. Okay. And the shortcut key for that is Shift plus Control plus L. So I'll be clicking on this one. And now you guys can see I do have this here, the auto tuning here. Okay. So here I did apply the auto tuning. Okay. Here. But right now you guys are not able to understand much difference here. So what I'll be doing is I'll just take a new file instead. I'll come here and I do have some images which I have just downloaded from Pixel. So what I'll be doing is I'll just open one. So in this case, I'll just again do the same thing. Right click here, duplicate my layer. I'll name it as auto tuned file. And I'll just create a new one. And after that, I'll come to the images. I'll select the auto tune. Okay. So here, now you guys can see a slight difference here. And I don't know you guys can see it or not, but it depends on the computer or the screen you're using, the resolution. Okay. So you guys will be able to understand a slight difference here if you look at this portion particularly. Okay. So just try to see once I just hide, you can see a particular change in the color. Okay. Which is quite visible in this particular part. Okay. The change or a layer can be seen appearing here. And here, once I put this one and I just put my background off, okay? So I do have this. So again, what I'll be doing is I'll just create another layer to show you about auto contrasting, okay? So here, I'll just click on right again, or I'll just click here and I'll be clicking on duplicating layer. So now I'll be naming as auto contrast file, and I'll click on OK, the same as one before. Okay, and now I do have this particular file here. It's the same way I'll be going to the image, and here I do see the option as auto contrast. Okay, and for this, the shortcut key is Alt plus Shift plus Control plus L. So if we are using this particular application on a daily basis, the shortcut keys are quite important and which will come to us by using it on a regular basis, like practicing over it over again, the same application, then we'll get used to it, the shortcut keys, and which will be quite helpful to us as well. Okay, so I'll just click here on the auto contrast, and here you can see I do have my auto contrast here. So let's try to see what changes it do bring. There is no much changes here, just it darkens and it just a little bit, if you guys are able to see that here. Okay, so the same way what I'll do is I'll be also showing you guys about the last thing, which is auto coloring. Okay, so here I'll again come to the background and I'll just select this option. I'll right click here, and here I'll just duplicate layer, and I'll just name it as auto color file. Click on OK. And after that, I'll just off this auto contrast one here, and I will select this particular file which I just created. And now what I'll do is I'll come again to the images, select the auto color, and the shortcut key for that is Shift plus Control plus B. Okay, and I'll select on auto color. So here in this particular image, you guys can see a little different here. Okay, a little bit of difference of how it actually looks here. And just look at my screen. Once I just hide this particular layer, this is the original one, and this one is the auto color file. Okay, So here, I hope you guys have understood about the auto tune, auto contrast file, or the auto color file. Okay. So here, I do have the background, which is the original file here. Okay, and I do have the auto tune, auto contrast, and the auto color file. So what if I just on this one and this one as well? Okay, what basically happens here? Okay, so what I'll do is now what I want to do is I just want to view this one. But I won't be able to view this one particularly now because on top of this auto contrast file, I do have the auto tune file, which is quite visible. Just if I just unvisible that one, you can see that I do have the auto color file here. And the same way, if I want to view the auto contrast file, but if I on this particular file, auto tune file, I won't be able to view the auto contrast file here. Okay, I'll be only able to view the auto tune file. And why does that happen? Because this layer comes first, okay? This layer is the first layer, which I'll be able to see. And it is just overlaying or it is just on top of that another layer. So in that case, what we can basically do is, let me just turn all this off and I can just drag this down. As you can see, when I'm trying to drag it down, you can see a blue color line there, okay? So that blue color line indicates that I'm just changing the position of my layers, okay? So here, this same way, I can actually change the position of my layer. Now you see, I do have my auto tune file here. And now the same way, if I want to view the auto contrast, I can do that. Okay. And now my auto contrast file is above my auto tune file. Okay. So here the same way I can again drag this particular file back here. Okay. So you guys might be thinking the auto tune file is looking great. And for me, I don't want you to guys to get the idea that the auto tune file always looks better. Okay, it depends on picture to picture. And here the auto color file is also looking great. Okay, so if I just unview this, here you can see the coloring is quite great in the auto coloring file as well. But it depends on picture to picture according to our needs, according to the picture, because so many things matter: the background color, the content, and also uh, the coloring of the content. So many things matters here. Okay, but actually we did get the idea of how we can use layering in Photoshop. So I have showed you guys here using a particular image. Okay, and I have also showed you guys how we can actually adjust the places and if I want to view this or not. Okay, and now, see here, I do have the background, which is the original one. See here, if I'm trying to move this particular file here, I'm not able to do that. But here in this file, which I have just duplicated, I can actually change its place. Okay, in that case. So here, if I want to do this, and I can also unlock this as well. Okay, so here from here I can unlock this as well. As you can see, I have just unlocked this here. And if I want to log this particular file again, what I can do is I can click on this one and I can click on lock here. Okay, so here you can see now this particular file is being locked again. And you guys have also seen here, once I just unlock this one, here it was written background, but it is not a background anymore. It is just layer 0. So I can also change the name by just double clicking here with my mouse here. So I'll just name first layer. Okay, there is spelling mistake. And I'll just click here. As you can see, now I can change the name. And any file from here, we can just lock it, then unlock it again if I want to. Okay, I can view it according to my need, which one looks good. Okay, So once the top file which I have here, and if I just view this one as well, I won't be able to see the underneath files which I have under on top. Okay, as I have top on top the auto color file. Underneath that, I do have auto tune, auto contrast, the first layer file. I won't be able to view the changes in those or view this file. But if I off this particular one, now I do have the auto tune file. And if I off this auto tune file, I do have the auto contrast file. And if I off the auto contrast file, here I do have the first layer file or the original file here. Okay. So all these layers I can lock as I have told you guys also. So I hope you guys have understood how we can actually use layering. So I've shown you guys how we can use layers in Photoshop. So the last thing which is left is for me to just save this particular file. So I'll just come to the file again. And if I want to save this, I'll come here, click on save. And if I want to save it to my Creative Cloud space, I can do that. And if I want to save it in my PC or my computer, I can do it from here. Okay, I'll just click here. And here, as you can see, I do have this option. Okay, and I'll just click on save. And here you can see a page popped up. And what it says, says maximize compatibility. Like turning off maximize compatibility may interfere with the use of PSD or PSB file in other application or with other version of Photoshops. Okay, so here you guys can just click on don't show again. But as I'm just a trainer, I need to tell it to everyone if any further class I'm taking. So I'll just click on OK. And yes, my file is being saved, and hope you guys have understood this tutorial on layering. And in next class we'll be learning about how we can actually combine uh, images, like different kind of images, and also we'll learn about few of the basic navigation things. Okay, so hope to see you all in the next tutorial, and hope this class was clear for you all. Take care and bye for now.